Candy Cane Magic, written and illustrated by Beau Spearman. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Nikki. Christmas was her favorite time of year, but she was sad because her best friend Becky moved to the city. Each holiday, Nikki and Becky had fun looking at lights, drinking hot cocoa, and singing Christmas carols. Without her friend, it felt like Christmas would not be fun this year. Nikki's mom told her she would make new friends. Little Nikki knew she could not make as good a friend as Becky. Little Nikki's mom told her that Christmas could still be fun without her friend. She just needed to go out and find something Christmas in everything she did. Little Nikki grabbed her hat and blanket and went outside to sit on the front porch steps. The day was cloudy and cold, just too gloomy to hold any Christmas spirit. Little Nikki noticed her neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, struggling with bags of groceries. She hopped up from the steps and skipped over. "Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Can I help you with your bags?" Smiling, Mrs. Johnson happily handed over a small bag for Nikki to carry. Inside the kitchen, little Nikki smelled a familiar aroma. "Mrs. Johnson, your house smells so good." Mrs. Johnson smiled. "Thank you, dear. It's gingerbread cookies you smell. I make them often when I need the feel of Christmas." Little Nikki thought of how baking cookies makes you feel like Christmas. After putting away the groceries, Mrs. Johnson handed little Nikki a gingerbread cookie and thanked her for her help. The cookie made little Nikki all warm and fuzzy inside. Mrs. Johnson smiled. "Before you go, I have one more thing to give you." She handed little Nikki a candy cane. "I want you to have this." Little Nikki smiled. "I love candy canes." Mrs. Johnson nodded. "It's not just a simple candy cane, it's a magical one." Little Nikki's eyes widened. Magical? How can a candy cane be magical? Mrs. Johnson patted her on the head. "Come back tomorrow, and I'll tell you a story." Back home, little Nikki could hear her mom humming Christmas music. "Hi, Mom. What are you doing?" Her mom smiled. "Hi, Nikki. I am making candy." "What do you have there? Is that a candy cane?" Nikki shook her head wildly. "Oh yes, Mrs. Johnson gave it to me, but it's not just a candy cane, it's a magical one." Mom smiled. "Did you say a magic candy cane?" Nikki held her candy cane high. "Yes, but I don't know how it's magical. Mrs. Johnson said to come over tomorrow and she would tell me all about it." Mom smiled. "Well, don't forget to go tomorrow and find out." "I won't," little Nikki said. "Mom, why are you so happy when you make candy?" Mom grinned. "It gives me Christmas spirit to make candy." Sitting up in her chair, "How does making candy give you Christmas spirit?" Mom handed Nikki a spoon to taste the batter. "It's a tradition. My mom taught me years ago, and we always made candy together this time of year. Would you like to help me make candy?" "I promise it will make you feel a little Christmas." Little Nikki pulled up a stool. She had a warm, fuzzy feeling inside making candies together. Before bed, little Nikki was still sad that her friend Becky had moved, but she was feeling better. Thinking over the day's events, she had helped Mrs. Johnson, ate a gingerbread cookie, helped her mom make candy, and received a magic candy cane. How did all this make little Nikki feel Christmas spirit? She wasn't sure, but she went to bed a little less sad. The next morning, little Nikki jumped out of bed, ran downstairs, and ate a quick breakfast. Her mom teased her. "You sure are up early this morning." Little Nikki smiled. "Yes, I must go see Mrs. Johnson about my magic candy cane." Mrs. Johnson was happy to see little Nikki and could tell little Nikki was excited to hear how her candy cane was magic. They sat on the couch and Mrs. Johnson began the story. "When I was a little girl, we moved a lot. I could never tell Santa what I wanted, but somehow he always found us in the new house. He gave me a small toy and a candy cane every year. One year, I finally got to visit Santa. He had a bright red suit, snow-white beard, and a jolly laugh. When I sat on his knee, he knew my name without even being asked. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I blurted out, 'I want a beautiful doll with long blonde hair.' Santa laughed, telling me he would see what he could do. Then he asked if I enjoyed the magic candy I received every year. I looked at Santa and asked, 'Did he say magic?' Santa laughed, saying yes, the magic one. Santa whispered to me that the candy cane is one of the most magical things about Christmas, but it was up to me to figure out how. Little Nikki's eyes widened. Mrs. Johnson, did Santa really give you a magic candy cane? She smiled. Yes, he did. And now you have one. I'll help you learn how it's magical. Come back next time, and we will learn more. Little Nikki raced home to tell her mom she had a real-life magical candy cane. Repeating the story word for word, her mom was so excited. She was glad that little Nikki had found some Christmas after all. Little Nikki nodded. I haven't found Christmas. I just have a magic candy cane. Her mom smiled. Okay, go up and change. We're going to do a little Christmas shopping. On the drive, little Nikki saw several sidewalk Santas collecting money. Mom, why are there so many Santa Claus? Mom smiled. They are collecting money for the less fortunate, and it's always nice to give what you can. Many have less than we do. Little Nikki thought for a moment. Can I donate too? Mom smiled. Yes, that would be very nice. Dropping money in the kettle, Santa winked and handed her a candy cane. Thank you, my dear. Here's a gift for you, a magic candy cane. Little Nikki immediately felt a warm, fuzzy feeling inside and smiled a big smile. Thank you, Santa. While shopping, little Nikki noticed a young boy crying. She smiled. Hello, why are you so sad? He sniffed. We just moved here and my grandma can't make it for Christmas. Mom and Dad said we can't call her, but I miss her. Little Nikki felt sad for him. I'm sorry you're sad. Maybe this will help. I have a magic candy cane that Santa gave me. Would you like to have it? He sniffed. It's magic? Nikki smiled. Yep, Santa said to believe in Christmas and it will help. His mom smiled as she patted little Nikki on the head. The boy walked away smiling, and little Nikki felt a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. The next day, little Nikki noticed a small bird perched on a branch outside her window. When a large moving truck pulled up across the street, she wondered who was moving into her friend Becky's house. After a few moments, she noticed a mom, dad, a little boy, and a girl close to her age. In the kitchen, Mom and Dad were putting cocoa. Mom's candy, fruit, nuts, and Christmas greenery in a basket. Little Nikki asked, What are you making? Dad smiled. We're making a welcome basket for our new neighbors. Would you like to add anything? Nikki thought for a moment. Do we have any candy canes? She added them to the basket. The new neighbors loved the welcome basket. Little Nikki introduced herself to the children, Alana and Chuck. Alana was sad about moving because she missed her friends and her Christmas tree. Little Nikki smiled. I will be your friend, and you can find Christmas in everything. You just have to look for it. I have a magic candy cane for you and Chuck. Little Nikki felt a warm and fuzzy feeling inside. The next day, little Nikki thought about her new neighbors and wondered where they came from. Suddenly, she smelled a familiar smell. Little Nikki ran to the kitchen. She saw her mom peering in the oven and Mrs. Johnson mixing batters. Hey, what's that smell? Mrs. Johnson smiled. We're making a gingerbread house. Want to help? Little Nikki exclaimed, Oh, yes! Once the cookie house cooled, Mom, Mrs. Johnson, and little Nikki decorated it with icing, candies, sprinkled sugar, and candy canes. They spent hours laughing and making the perfect gingerbread house. Little Nikki had a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Little Nikki had so much fun the last few days. She still missed Becky, but her mom was right. Finding Christmas and other things made it less sad. It was getting close to Christmas, and little Nikki didn't have a gift for her mom or dad. She wanted the perfect present. She went to see Mrs. Johnson. Hello, dear. How is your Christmas season going so far? Little Nikki smiled. It's going well, but I don't have a gift for my mom or dad, and I don't have any money. Mrs. Johnson smiled. Dear, you don't need money. You just need your imagination and love. Little Nikki smirked. Imagination? Mrs. Johnson nodded. Yes, remember the magic candy cane? It's not just the candy cane, it's you and me. You are the magic of Christmas to everyone around you. It's not in the gift or present we give. It's our hearts that carry on the traditions. The spirit of Christmas is in all of us, and we just have to find it. Santa helped me find it with a magic candy cane. You can find it in anything, little Nikki smiled. Mrs. Johnson pulled out some old ornaments from her closet. Okay, dear, let's make your mom and dad a Christmas gift just from you. With paint, glitter, and beads, little Nikki painted her handprint and name on her ornament. Mrs. Johnson smiled. Let's finish it by adding a candy cane to the box. Little Nikki was so proud and felt a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. The next day, little Nikki's parents were getting ready for the yearly neighborhood Christmas Eve party. It was a big event with music, dancing, eating, laughing, and so much fun. Little Nikki was sad because she and Becky loved this night. They always laughed and danced. It would not be as much fun since she moved away. As the guests arrived, Nikki greeted them with a smile. She noticed a nice man arrived that she hadn't met before. He came and sat by her. Hello, Nikki, how are you? She noticed his big white beard and a twinkle in his eye. She smiled. Hello, Santa. His eyes twinkled. Why are you so sad? Nikki sniffed. Because my friend Becky isn't here. Santa nodded. I'm sure you miss her. Do you still feel the spirit of Christmas? Little Nikki sniffed. Yes, but I still miss her. Santa smiled. Of course you do, but you can keep the fun you had in your mind and then still spread Christmas with your heart. Do you still have the magic candy cane I gave you? Nikki smiled. No, I gave it to a sad boy and it made him smile. Santa chuckled. How did that make you feel? Nikki smiled. It gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Santa smiled. The magic worked. Little Nikki's eyes widened. It did? Santa nodded. Yes, anytime you feel that fuzzy feeling, it is the spirit of Christmas. We all have it within us. You just have to have one thing that reminds you each year. Nikki smiled. Oh, like Mrs. Johnson and the magic candy cane. Santa chuckled. Ha ha, yes, exactly. Little Nikki looked at him. But wait, how did you know about Mrs. Johnson? Santa gave a wink. Here you go, your very own magic candy cane. Never lose the magic, Nikki. It's always with you. Mrs. Johnson smiled when she saw Santa and hugged him as he left. Little Nikki looked at her candy cane and knew this was the most magical Christmas ever. A moment later, the doorbell rang. There stood Becky in the doorway and had come for the annual party. This Christmas was perfect after all. Little Nikki's mom tucked her into bed. Did you have fun tonight? Little Nikki smiled. Oh yes, it was a great party. Me, Becky, Alana, and Chuck had so much fun. The best part was Santa. Her mom looked surprised. Santa? Nikki smiled. Yes, he gave me this magic candy cane. It's magic because it represents Christmas. Santa said it's not the candy cane itself. It's a symbol. It was more than that. It's also what's in our hearts all year long. Santa said as we get older, we sometimes lose the Christmas spirit. Mom, have you lost the Christmas spirit? No, honey. I see it every day, especially when I look at you. Little Nikki's mom hugged her. Merry Christmas. Little Nikki smiled. I love you, Mom. This has been the best Christmas ever, and I will never forget it. At that moment, they looked out Little Nikki's window as a gentle snowfall fell. Little Nikki got a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. She quietly whispered, Merry Christmas, Santa, and good night.